appreciate some thought and input on this issue, because short of doing some kind of grant program from the city to help these folks come into compliance, I'm just not sure what we can do. And that would be, that would obviously be some kind of matching program, but I don't know.
Can our representative represent East Ridge? Can he not go talk to him, see if he could straighten it out for him?
Well, and that's part of it.
He's doing that anyway, but apparently not.
I don't know if these people have gone to him directly, and I certainly will ask that. But even if that was the case, we've talked about before how the WWTA board is structured, that the county appointees, even though there's, I think, 5 of them, if 3 of them vote together, they can outvote all the cities and the other 2 county appointees put together. So all you need essentially is 3 out of 12 or 13 people to agree, and if it's the right 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there's some equity issues there, I think. But anyway,
We looked at that. When is our representative's term? Andrew was going to look at that, I thought.
I don't know. Seems like it was January, February time frame that he was appointed. So
He's been on there for about 3 years.
yes,
Several, or at least as long as I've been city.
he's appointed by me and approved by the council. Yeah. So certainly I'll be more than happy to have that conversation with him.
I need to come up with some kind of idea we can go back on them with text.
You might want to just, this is almost contact if they haven't done so. And see if you can intervene on that. Would be positive too.
All right, well, like I said, if you all would put some thought into that, I sure would appreciate it. I don't know where else to go at this point. That's all the information I have. We will, city manager's not here, but I'll look at that if you've got anything in terms of staff information or any other communications from the acting city manager.
Well, I don't have anything for myself. Obviously, we hope that Surprise gets to feeling better soon. Praying for him. I would like to follow up on the comments made about the park. I take my son down there, and taking him down there since before the playground was installed. Now we're down there every other day or so. We're down there quite a bit. I've always felt safe there as well, so it's not a problem. I've seen comments on that, but I've never received myself or my little 2-year-old boy to be safe anyway. So we enjoy it. Love it happens.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, we will proceed to old business. And item A, ordinance number 982.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations of the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to rezone the property located at 4150 Monroe Street from R1 Residential District to C2 General Commercial District. Here on second and final reading.
Motion approved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. We've already discussed item B, discussion of the fire station. Move to new business. Item A, resolution 2453.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Retail Strategies for market analysis, strategic planning, and retail recruitment.
Motion to table.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table. Roll call, please.
is, did you give,
You have.
have I got them? Hang on.
Reason I asked that question, I wasn't trying to, reason I asked that question, I was thinking when we get voted on that, that there would be rubber wire stuff to be put in there for the kids when they get hurt. And I've been out 2 or 3 times, and I have checked it, and it's wooden chips, what I call it. Same stuff we use out here in front, down off.
Councilman Manning, real quickly on this, what this is engineered wood and fiber. This is a synthetic mixture, and it says here that the wood fiber will require ongoing maintenance and occasional topping during the lifetime. This maintenance to help to maintain recommended compact material depth, thus keeping the surface compliant. It goes on to say benefits. Carefully following installation details allows engineered wood fiber to be installed. Now that's volunteer labor. But basically what it goes on to say here is that it is safe, and as you'll see the picture of the young man there with the handicap, and what it does, it'll bond. What we'll have to do is we'll rake it on a regular basis, and what we'll have to do is if it gets down, this passes all safety features and the hit test is what they call it. And Fred Weichert has told me that this passes everything. But in all essence, you're correct. They call it a synthetic wood, but pick it up and hold it in your hand, I'm like you, it's wood. And I think Melvin he knows a little bit more about what it is, but basically that's what it is. Yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken, and you correct me, Mary, you're on the board too, but we had the same stuff over here, our newspaper that we got up here. And we finally had to put that rubber down because we had the same kind of chip stuff over there. Then we had to buy the rubber wire stuff, so that people get hurt over there. That we got over there now.
I know we had chips down at one point,
That's
but
what
I don't know, yeah, I don't know if it's the same, I don't know that.
It's the same thing, what we had over there. We finally had to put the rubber down.
Melvin, what do we got over there now?
What we got over now is, we grind the stuff that's over now is GML approved. It's just the trunk of the trees, no leaves, no limbs, nothing. We pick it out of brush we bring in there, just the tree trunks, and they run it through the machine twice, where it's finer, and, they proof the wire. We put it where the slides are, for when you slide down, it makes the holes. We fill them in. And the reason the rubber is around the string, reason we did, was where the swing and rubber feet, it kept it dug out and water. They sit in there all the time. And that rubber don't dig out. But this stuff here, it's synthetic, whether they treat it with somewhere, it won't burn. It'll just sit there, it won't flame up. If they drop a cigarette or something on it, it won't sit there and catch fire.
And then you take, alright, then you say this and I'll bust you. Alright, is any way possible, if a kid slides off barefooted, hits that stuff, and I have picked up some of it pretty sharp, is it any way possible if you go in the foot, stick in the foot?
Well, probably, I mean, anytime you got any kind of chip, it's possible something like that happen.
Because to me, I don't think it'd be safe for small children to be sliding down in that stuff and get cut, and that's what it looks like.
You can't rule it out.
Well, that's
Put a sign up there, no barefoot.
I'd say change it to small, but, it's in there anytime you got wood, splinters.
This is what they've got all over, everywhere, so. I think that rubber pad we put down on the swing set was,
Probably kept rubbing,
it
digging holes.
was pretty expensive, but at the time, it was about $4,000. Yeah, it was 16.
And I think if we used enough to put over the whole park down there, it would probably be as expensive as the park.
But the reason I said that, I didn't mean anything about taking this up, but the reason I said what I did about it, because I don't see no kid where get hurt, and that's my main purpose, take care of our playground, and y'all have done a great job. I'm not complaining about y'all, of course, y'all have done a wonderful job, and it looks great. But, what I understood from says the rubber drive, and I took for it to be rubber drive, but when I went and checked it, it's wood. And wood and rubber are two different things to me. I done a lot of work for the county maintenance when we done a lot of these things.
I've got a question that is back on the resolution about the additional cost. Why is it more?
I'll let you explain that.
We've had to put in a bunch of extra pipe, because when we started filling that in, put the playground, it ran out there with a forced sewer line where the reason we're gonna put it. We couldn't put it there. So when we moved it down to the corner, now we filled that ditch in where they wouldn't be sliding off from the parking lot, you know, it's a bank. When we got that ditch had not been cleaned out in so long, it got declared a wetland. So we could not go in there and dig that ditch out no way. So we had the engineer from where they put the launch pad in, he come and said we could go down beside it there and filter water back in below that down there, and you could do that. So we, had to put pipe down there. We had to buy about 1,000 foot extra pipe to get the water filtered out. So
Could you just move the equipment?
Well, there was no, the only other place to move it, Councilman Gravitt, if we'd have moved the equipment over to the other side, then you put it on the street side, and that definitely is not safe. Sam, and we wanted to put it somewhere in the center there and somewhere in the amphitheater area. We felt like it was important to do that. But once we started on the project,
Why? If you've got a band that's playing in the amphitheater right there, you're gonna blow those kids out with the speakers.
well, it's like the folks from Bugapalooza and as well as the folks from J-Fest, when they put that as their play area when they have big events down there. And they also add, I call them jumpies, or blow-ups, I guess is what you officially call them down there. But what we did on this, we felt like that it was important that we make it where that it wouldn't flood. And that's what we're trying to do. And the project's not over yet. We've still got a lot of things to do on this. It's not complete.
Well,
Now,
that's scary then.
Well, no, let me
$13,000 over budget.
I understand that. Let me finish on this, please. What we have left to do is mainly bulldozer work, and if it quit raining long enough, and we have some dirt available through the Wood Brothers, of course, which we've used a lot of, then we can go in and do that. Now, we probably do need to put some catch basins down through there. That will be an expense for us as far as that goes.
Okay, let me see if I'm understanding this right. You put this equipment on an existing wetland?
No, let me start it all over
The
then.
ditch across the walking track, when we called them, they come looked at it. They said if the ditch was been kept maintained, which that's years ago, that they didn't clean out it, they declare wetland, the way he explained to me is settlement from where they clean out settled in there, and if the soil's got certain chemicals in there that certain plants won't grow, but in them chemicals, that's what they declare wetland.
What he's talking about is the ditch that comes out of where that Cedar Glen, and also the water runs down off of from Camp Jordan Run, which runs between the amphitheater and between the soccer field. That ditch, they said, went over 10 years without being cleaned out. It was a ditch that the city had dug originally, but it wasn't cleaned out. So then it was declared a wetlands, not where we put the park, but that ditch. We needed to be able to run water into that ditch. That's why we had to put more pipe in there, because we couldn't, without being probably fined, just go right in there and start messing with the ditch. So we called in the guy from CTI, as well as Buddy Smith, who was with the county, who was over there working on the project for the Wood Brothers, and making sure that they wouldn't put water in the creek that they weren't supposed to and all that, and had both of them come over there. The engineer did it for free. The engineer told us exactly what we needed to do it. I came back, reported what we needed to do, and then we made a decision to buy the pipe to move forward, to be able to get something to move water, because we've got to be able to move water down there. And it starts on the opposite side over at the baseball field, and runs down and runs in there, and then it starts at Cedar Glen and comes down and runs in there.
I'm sorry. Maybe some of you guys are understanding this better than I, but I do not understand how we got from talking about over in Cedar Glen,
Now,
behind Cedar Glen.
The ditch starts there.
that's where some kind of where it
They
starts.
wouldn't let them, they were closing that ditch off and keep the kids, it stays wet right there where you park on the parking lot. And so instead of walking in that wet ditch, they decided to put pipe in there. But when they got down there, they was going to put it off that creek. They wouldn't let them do that. They told them they had to run the pipe on down there a little ways, and then it had to filter in back.
We got to the pipe that goes underneath the walking track, into that big ditch, the water run backwards, back into the ditch, right there where the playground is, in that ditch, instead of running off in that ditch, running off, it run back into where.
Let me say this too, Melvin. This is concrete that we had to put. This is drainage that we had to put in. This is rental equipment that we had to have. It was an agreement with Mr. Whiteman with Game Time / Playcore to do that. And the biggest cost that ran us up was the fact that we were having to do that with the drainage. And let me say this too, and I know it was mentioned earlier tonight, and I hope you don't mind me saying this. Everything we do at Camp Jordan, we're trying to do to bring in funds. From what we brought in on the light show, to what we tried to do with the trade, to generate money on that, to the $7,000 we brought in from Dick's Sporting Goods. None of that is budgeted stuff that we brought in. All that's money we brought in this year that was unbudgeted money. The only reason that I would ask to use this stuff and to fix this stuff is this money we're bringing in. The tough thing on us is everybody else can set their budget pretty much successfully on the first day of July and are ready to go. With our situation, we don't realize sometimes what we're going to have to do for the following year until November when we start booking events for the next year. So that's why we're trying to raise as much money as we can. Do we want to take money out? We had a budget meeting yesterday, and we went over every line item in our budget, every member of the staff that I've got out there, and took our time. And we're trying to be good stewards of everything. But we're trying to make some money and bring in funds to do what we have to do to be able to make that park run the way it's supposed to. It was mentioned about the tournaments. We have 32 to 34 softball, baseball tournaments out there this year. We've got 4 soccer tournaments. 3 of them will bring in more than 100 teams. 1 of them will bring in more than 150 teams. We've got a lacrosse tournament to bring in almost 100 teams. I can go on and on with everything we've got going on. And it's bringing in money, it's bringing in economic impact. You and I met with Tim Morgan with the sports committee. I think Tim talked to you, and he told me he met you this week, Councilman Gravitt. And I looked him dead in the face when he met with me the other day. And I just asked him straight up front, I said, have you got any way we can figure economic impact? He said, yeah, I've got all kinds of tools. And he was going to try to help get the tools to Thad Jablonski. But the last thing I said to him is, let me ask you a question. Bottom line, would it be safe to say, bottom line, very lowest possible, are we generating $2 million worth of economic impact a year in the city of East Ridge? And he said, yeah, bottom line, we were doing that. I know that Glenn Meadows is still sitting here, and he owns Wally's, and his daughter travels all over the United States, and they spend a ton of money. There's a lot of money being made in youth sports right now. Everybody's buying, everybody's competing, and we're competing with Summit, and we're competing with Warner Park, and in many ways, we don't look as good as they do, but we're competing pretty doggone good with them as far as that goes. And finally, and I'll shut up, and I asked Matt if I could finally say this. Matt came down and told me, Matt Wood, right when it was time, when y'all fixing to have your meeting up here about the deal with the Bass Pro Shop. He said, Stump, I just want you to know that the park was a major factor in closing this deal for Bass Pro Shop. Now, that's not me. That's everybody that works out there in that park, from Bill Owens to every one of them. We got a lot of pride in what we do. And we don't want to ask the council to spend any money or do anything that they're not supposed to, that we don't think we can bring the money back in to pay for it. And, that's just my thoughts on this whole deal. Maybe I'm not doing a good job letting you folks know what we're being able to do out there money-wise and with the economic impact included. And Parks and Rec has to have an economic impact included. I think I sent out an email the other day basically saying this is what it is. But I apologize, but I just felt like that I need to, at least on behalf of my staff, not me, to
knows that I have 100% supported everything that you and Camp Jordan and the rec department have requested. I think I have voted 100% on person new equipment, on applying for matching bond funds, and et cetera. And I do greatly appreciate everything the staff does down there at Camp Jordan. And there are a lot of variables as far as determining economic impact. Here's one way that you can determine economic impact. You ask every one of those teams what hotel they're staying in.
We're starting to do that this year. We're talking to the people that are bringing the tournaments in and telling them, we need to do this. We need to be able to show our citizens. Like I said, you talk to the business owners. Nick Cook did a story on the new Arby's coming in down there, and the guy talked about Camp Jordan was one reason that they brought the new Arby's in there and how much impact it made to them. But we're going to start doing that. And that's something Thad and I've had many conversations with, and Bob Doak, as well as Tim Morgan. We need to do that.
Well, like I said, I have always supported Camp Jordan on everything that you have asked us for. But, and I've made references to this in the past few meetings, as all of you know, okay? But you know, up here, we're being asked to spend taxpayer dollars, and we've got other department heads that are also needing money out here. And it's just tough whenever it's meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. There's more and more. There's a request coming in continuously. And here's what I would like, Mr. Jablonski and Mr. Martin. By the next meeting, I'd like to see a report on where Parks and Rec, on where their budget stands. I don't want any, but don't include any money that we've gotten from bonds. Okay? Don't include that on the plus side.
I got one the other day from Diane.
But I want to see a report on where Parks and Rec stands on its budget. Because I'm going to have a real difficult time voting to approve more spending. Okay? And this goes for all the departments. I don't know how the rest of the council feels. I'm not spoken to either, to the rest of you. But is it just me, or does it feel like we're spending money very quickly? And I want to be sure that someone has got a handle on the budget, because I don't want to wind up us coming up short and coming up with a deficit.
Councilman Gravitt, I got that from before I had my budget meeting with the people the other day. I got Ms. Diane Qualls to do that, and we're 6 months into it, and we're less than 50% on our overall budget. And again, the $32,000 we just
You're less
brought
than
in.
50%.
Yes, sir. As far as what we're spent, we haven't spent over 50% on our budget in 6 months.
Okay.
And like I said, they hadn't even had the $32,000 added or any of the other stuff, which was unbudgeted money anyway. All I'm asking us to do is use the money we brought in. I'm not asking to do anything else besides that.
Okay.
I mean, that's
If you would, just have a report ready.
We just ran some
For us
reports,
next
but I'll
week,
bring
or
reports
next
for the
council
county. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sure.
Can the money that the park generates, instead of going to the general budget, can it go towards Parks and Rec, let them be self-sufficient?
That's where, in my opinion, that money right there is going to cover the cost of some of these new appropriations that Mr. Martin's asked.
I agree totally.
I don't think it should come out of the band fund.
And I don't have a problem with that. That wasn't my recommendation for the band fund, but at the time, that was what the recommendation was. But I'm fine with it coming out of this money if it can happen, Mr. Jablonski.
That's not up to me, that's up to the county.
I have no problem with this playground cost coming out of that. I don't know, obviously, what the bids are gonna show when we talk about fencing here in just a little while. But
right now, according to that letter that all of us got at 2:31 this morning, from a group that likes to use Camp Jordan, it's put us between a rock and a hard place on approving or not approving the cost of the fence. So, I've said enough. I'll sit back and listen to what you guys have to say.
Are we on the fence, or we coming back later?
Well, we,
I have a question about this money. Doesn't that have to go to general fund and then redistribute back out to him?
That would
that's
be
a
the
fair
appropriate
question.
way,
That'd be the
that would be the
appropriate way to do it,
appropriate way to handle it, so, yeah, we need to take it out of operating funds, operating revenues, covering operating expenses.
And then we not give it back to the
We can provide for a budget amendment, and we can amend and show the revenues, and we can also amend and show the new expenditures as appropriate.
Now, whenever I was talking about, I want a report at the next council meeting, I don't want a report showing all the budget amendments. I want to go back with the original budgeted amount. Not with all the amendments thrown in. I want to see where we're standing. So, all that being said, did we make a motion in a second?
yes, we have, Mr. Sewell, I believe, made the motion, and Mr. Manning seconded for discussion.
Somebody's going to have to
And
withdraw
so-
the motions.
We could, yeah, if we could,
That's what
we
I'm
could
gonna
just
have to do.
amend. Yeah. So if someone would like to
I'll withdraw the motion.
propose a, okay, you want to,
I withdraw the second.
okay, so we withdraw the motion in the second, someone would like to,
I make a motion to alter the resolution that the funds not be withdrawn from the band account, but that the funds relating to the installation of the additional funds needed for installation of playground equipment at Camp Jordan be withdrawn out of the $32,822 that was presented to the city of Chattanooga for Titan Light Show.
Well, it doesn't work that way, does it? It goes into the general, it just come out of the general fund, and the 32,000 goes to the general fund, right?
It does, we still need to appropriate it, because we didn't anticipate the revenue, so the
We need
revenue's
a
not.
budget amendment.
So we need a budget, we need to offer a budget amendment at the next meeting, and we can have it prepared to show the 30,000 coming in, and then the monies for the programs going out, and we'll make sure that those, and one doesn't exceed, the expenditures don't exceed that amount. I'll see to it, so. And we'll also bring you the report, because you requested original budget amendments.
But the motion should be that it comes out of the 32, it comes out of the general fund, with the 32 going in. It's the same difference, but
Okay.
from an accounting standpoint, that's what it needs to be.
Gotta go, I guess, come out and go in his budget, 32,000.
Okay, where, the additional funds needed for the playground equipment comes out of the $32,822 that is to be deposited into the general fund
And redistribute.
and redistributed to the Parks and Rec Department for the additional cost of the playground equipment. Is that clear as mud?
All right, let me ask a question.
Well,
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Thank you, second. And then I need to ask a question on it.
now,
I was going to
What
suggest
about the fence, Mayor?
hold on, just 1 minute.
that the resolution state that $32,000 generated from the Christmas Night of Lights be deposited in the general fund, and then out of the general fund comes the payment of the
Playground equipment, additional.
playground, additional playground equipment at Camp Jordan Park.
What the city attorney said, I'll make that in the form of a motion. Thank you.
But it kills the two birds with one stone. It gets the 32 in the general fund, and it gets the playground equipment being paid out of the general fund.
Thank you.
This is not actually equipment, this is for drainage.
Whatever it is, whatever it is.
No, it's not the actual, the money, we've already paid for what Blake Lord and Fred Whiteman sold us. We had to put concrete in, which we had to do to make it handicap accessible. And then we also had to rent some, you remember, Diane, how much in rentals we had? You got that? We've got, every time we had something, we sent it to Diane and had her keep this. Now, this is a situation that if it had to be taken out of my budget for our grounds, it could happen, but and we could make it. And that was one reason we had the budget meeting today, or yesterday, is to find out in case it didn't. We had the money available in the budget, but it would have really cramped our style when we got into those big tournaments and stuff, and we needed paint, and we needed fertilizer and everything we need to make everything happen.
Hey, do you have a record of how much of this 13,000 you have already spent?
Oh, and that is the 13,000.
11,517.54 as of right now. The estimated 13 in case there's something
It showed up
that
to you.
showed up I didn't know.
So you're gonna spend 11,500.
Yes, sir.
You got another 15 left to spend.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we have Mr. Grable's motion, Mr. Sewell's second. You look like you have a question. Are you?
No, sir.
Okay, you're good.
Take it in.
Gotcha.
I appreciate it.
Sponge. All right. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please, sir.
Councilmember Rabbit?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Manning?
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll?
Yes.
Mayor Lambert?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we move on to item C, resolution number 2455.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, hereby requesting assistance from the Tennessee Department of Transportation's 2015 Safe Routes to School program.
Mayor, this is another resolution for the Safe Routes to School program. Like Spring Creek, Engineer Matt McCarley's identified that we can, and engaging the folks with the program, we've identified that it's 100% grant coming from the state, and where there is sufficient need, that they're typically willing to provide more than one grant per cycle to the community. And through elementary, there's certainly a need there that we could take advantage of those funds and leverage those outside dollars for the community. So we ask for the council's authorization to proceed with that grant.
If I remember correctly, that is 100%
100%
funded.
and no cost to the city.
I'll make a motion for it.
And it's up to 250,000.
Up to, the question was, the amount is up to 250,000?
It's 250.
I withdraw the motion to find out.
That's where I'm
Yes,
reading that
yes.
resolution.
That's 9C.
Yes, up to, I don't think we'll get the
No
next
match from the city up to
I don't-
maximum request of 250,000.
It's up to, but I don't think we'll get the next one. Just the down expectations. Yes, up to that.
So then we can come back and reapply for something like Thomas Avenue, putting in the handicap wheelchair ramps down at East Ridge High School, or bicycle ramps. Keep the kids from jumping curbs and out into Ringo Road.
Depending on where agency funding is at that point in time after another grant, yeah, yes, sir. That's a possibility.
I think so.
I make a motion for it.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rabbit?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Manning?
Yes.
Councilmember Stoll?
Yes.
Mayor Lambert?
Yes. Item D, resolution 2456.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to promote complete streets within the City of East Ridge.
Mayor, members of the city council, the Complete Streets program relates to not just safe routes to school, but it's a holistic program promoting safe streets for pedestrians, all forms of transportation, pedestrians, cyclists, joggers, automobiles. It's a concept and a policy that really touches every area of community life, from planning and parks and recreation to planning and streets, to neighborhood services. It's a concept that, again, we've got exhibits A and B, I think pretty thoroughly describe complete streets. We've been advised by the folks at the Tennessee, Southeast Tennessee Development District, that bringing this approach, the complete streets approach, which is wherever feasible and wherever possible, planning for these different modes of transportation. If we bring that into various projects, whether they're grant projects, street improvements, and other projects of economic development and new development projects as we proceed, we're much more likely to get grant monies, especially from TDOT, the Federal Highway Administration, and other entities that award funds. So we were advised to recommend this evening, and I certainly recommend that you seriously consider adopting this.
The grant or something we have to pay out?
It's a policy that the city, kind of a framework that the city uses as we approach projects.
What would it cost?
If there were a cost, at any point in the future, we would identify that as a part of the project. But it doesn't cost us anything this evening, it doesn't cost us anything looking ahead.
That's really not asking you what the
Yes, sir.
dollars, but I think first you say halfway through it and all of a sudden they come back and say, we want $2 million.
We have applied for a complete streets grant or something similar.
We have applied for, yes, a couple of grants that really do touch on this concept.
Multimodal, I think.
Multimodal, yeah, multimodal. One is the multimodal access grant, the other is the transportation alternatives grant. We're in the middle of the transportation improvement programs grant. You know, again, these are all TDOT grants, and the idea is multiple forms, multimodal uses, which is, you know, bikes, pedestrians, cars. I mean, let's plan for everything, all of the above. We do it in a way that's safe, with an eye for safety approach. So, really, we're already doing it. We're already applying for the grants. If anything, this would help us get more points when we do apply for these awards.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Griffith,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Manning,
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell,
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, if you would you mind indulging me for a minute?
Sure.
I just want to explain some of my comments earlier. We've got a $2 million ban note that is we have to do something with by what, May? $2 million. We just did a $3.5 million, correct?
Working on that now.
I'm sorry?
We're working on that now.
Okay.
We
We're
should-
working on an additional $3.5 million. Do the math, that's $5.5 million right there, those two notes. Okay? We're looking at buying a $600,000 fire truck that we need in this next budget year. Folks, that comes up to be what? I've lost count of the numbers. $7 million, is that correct? Plus, you know, we also run the risk of additional retail development coming in here, and then them wanting to take advantage of the border region legislation, where we provide, you know, tax incentives for them to come in here. Plus, we're developing a pilot program, you know, and that would provide additional incentives to attract new businesses in the city. The only thing that I'm asking for is just because money has been budgeted does not mean we've got to spend it. And we need all the city employees and supervisors as much help as us up here as we can possibly get on watching the budget and
item E, discussion of leasing 2 gators. We touched on it briefly earlier.
Real quickly, those were not 2 additional gators. If you're gonna make the trade, which we'd like to do, those gators don't even come into play. And we'll be using the gators to work on fields, to work in the park, the 1 gator. And just, you know, there's all kinds of things we can do. I won't take a long time up here with it, but, you know, we can drag 2 fields at once instead of having to stay out there all day, dragging 12 fields 3 times, because you've got to drag them 3 times. By the time you do the process, you're supposed to. If we've got another gator, we have enough employees, we can make that quicker and get on to something else. Besides, we have to have a gator to move all the goals. And there's a lot of soccer goals have to be moved because they'll change their fields all the time with the sizes they're playing. So, but no, we do not need, if you're going to go the other way, we don't need to discuss two gators.
So really your need is for two
Yeah,
gators.
and let me say this. Again, I wasn't taking that out of our budget. We were going to take the money out of the East Ridge Football Club for the money that's made on the Scenic City Tournament. The East Ridge Football Club is our nonprofit. And they already make about $5,000 a year off that. All we want to do is take that for the lease. I agree with Congressman, with Councilman Cagle. I don't think I think buying it's a lot better than leasing. I agree with
That's the first time I've heard of anything about taking it out of the East Ridge football account.
Well, that was been the whole plan all the way through it.
No one's mentioned it.
Well, that's all I've ever said. That's what we were taking it out of is the East Ridge football account
That was for the lease.
for the lease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the bid.
Did you hear it? I mean, I didn't hear that, but irregardless, okay, never mind.
But that was the original. But we don't need to even discuss that at this point in time if we're going in another direction.
So that, again, your need is really for 2 gators. And
1 gator and then fix the old one we got,
Exactly.
which will give us 2 gators.
Right.
And it gives 2
That's
gators
how
and a
many
golf
you
cart.
need is 2.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so if we opted not to do what we had talked about earlier, that would be the trade where we
Yes, sir.
get 38,000.
Then I'd like to be
38,000 of value.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this would be the alternative.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So it's just phrased here on the agenda as discussion, so we can just move past without.
This will come up the next meeting.
Okay. As an option, an
And
alternative.
then as an option, we'll visit that like we did before, work session.
Okay. All right. Item F, discussion of creating position of part-time senior activities coordinator. This was something I think was mentioned by several folks who attended the last meeting. I remember Mac Finley, I think, being one of those.
There was a group of folks that came out, Mac did bulk of the talking.
I thought some of the senior citizens I wanted to, and they don't feel like we need to hire someone else. They've got a good person over there doing the job. They don't feel like we need to spend $90,000 to hire somebody to do it. Now, I'd make a motion to pay it. Couple of mine, make a motion to table this right now.
95, we can get 95.
If you are 2 people through their salary, 92.
This would be
This would be 1 person who would work an average of 12 hours a week at $10 an hour. It would be $120 a week. And they would do what you see right there. But they would not get any benefits. And we would hire somebody that could come in and do that. We do have Earl's over there. We're not going to replace Earl. Earl does a good job of what Earl does. But we would like to offer our seniors more.
I talked to my seniors, well, I won't call them names, I talked to my seniors this year earlier.
Oh, I talked to him too.
And they like to stay like this.
I agree.
Do the job for the harm and somebody else, taxpayer has to pay somebody else, they really keep it like this.
Who's doing it now? I'm
Earl,
sorry, go ahead, Larry. Who's doing it now?
Well, here's what happened. We had the silver sneakers. We wanted want to expand it farther than there. They want to be able to have a dance once a month during the day, or have karaoke, or do things of that nature, as you'll see on here. They want to be able to have a bake sale once or twice a year, things of this nature. And then they would teach a class in regular exercise, and then they would teach a class, and it would change quarterly. Like this quarter it might be Zumba, next quarter it might be line dancing, next quarter it might be whatever, as far as that goes. But that's what I say, it was 12 hours a week. The seniors you talk to have talked to me, and they like going in there, playing cards, doing the things they do, and that will continue as the same thing. But Earl does a lot more than just, deal with the seniors. Yeah, he does a whole lot more. So anyway, that's all I'm recommending.
I know we're all, people always complain we do things for the kids, we don't do anything for seniors.
I agree.
You know,
I've got no problem doing it for the senior citizens, but I'm saying, I talked to them, senior citizens toward me,
you talk to me, I've seen you.
you ain't keeping that money.
But again, I've talked to the same folks, and they got up last week and talked.
Mayor, she wants to have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to say, I have gone to the senior center 3 times in a month. That's how often I go, and I have stated this. The people that go to the exercise do not want anything to do with the 3 people that go up there. I've been there at a dinner. We're not even invited to the dinners now. We have not been for Christmas, and I do not think that the group, I'm sorry, but the group of Silver Sneakers, they are not all East Ridge people. A lot of them live in Georgia and other places, and the wife furnishes an exercise person for the Silver Sneakers that East Ridge does not have to pay for. Now, that's some, that a lot of the people do not like them because they don't have to do the exercise. Now, I'm thinking of money for East Ridge also when I say this. If she can get people to come in that are not in the exercise group, that's great. But if it's just going to be the exercise people, it won't work. I've talked to some of them, and they don't care about going in and playing games or anything like that. Maybe they want these other things. But how many of them will come when they exercise 3 times a week? I don't know, but I'm just stating that I know that I have gone over there for years, ever since they've had it. And they used to have a great of people coming in to play games. They don't come anymore because it's people in East Ridge. Maybe they don't know about it. I don't know.
That's what I'd like to do. I'd love to be able to do something and promote it and
Well,
make.
You've got people over there now working that are supposed to be doing that, getting people in there. You've got to consider that too. And I appreciate y'all letting me talk, and I probably shouldn't have said it, but that's just
No, you're fine.
because I have been over there and I do know what goes on.
So basically what you're telling us is that the people that play games in there with Earl, or play cards with Earl, and then the seniors that do the Silver Sneakers don't like each other.
I'm saying that they don't acknowledge us. That's what I'm saying. I know some of them, and they're very friendly with me.
Us, who would be us?
The 3 of us that go over there, I
Yeah,
think.
the 3 that go over there. There's 3 that go over there. Do you go 3 times a month or 4
3
times?
times,
Yeah,
3 times,
3 times a month.
unless we have something else to do. And I'll be glad to answer any questions y'all want to ask me.
I'm just offering something for the seniors.
Back when we discussed this the first time, price of $10,000 was allocated or mentioned that it would cost. So what you just quoted was
$120 a week times 52 weeks, yes, sir.
And this same lady's gonna teach 10 o'clock senior fitness and 11 o'clock seniors in nursery line dance.
Yes, sir. If it's a lady we hire,
Well,
whatever, yeah.
person.
But the Y is pulling their funding, correct, of the person?
Well, I would like to take it over and run it if we could and make this a senior program. The Y why everybody doesn't get to do Silver Sneakers free, because some people get to do it because of their insurance. Others don't get to do it because they don't have the insurance that does that.
So you're wanting to do it and provide it for everybody.
I want to provide it for everybody, I want to promote it,
Free-
I want to
free
make it as
charge.
big as we can, and I want people, and I want our East Ridge folks, I want to promote them, I want to make sure that we put it out everywhere.
Is it free of charge?
Yes, yes, I don't want to charge anything for it. I want it to be something for the seniors.
I'll make a motion that we approve. I like to think about do some more for the seniors.
If we do it and it doesn't work out, then we'll put a stop to it, but I'd like to give, we've got more seniors in this town than just about anything. And I'd just like to give them the opportunity. And I'll make sure that next time that something goes on that I invite you, because you're my friend.
As a senior, can I ask something?
Yes, ma'am.
As I understood this discussion at the council meeting that brought this forward, the interest in this position was to continue the exercise program, the Silver Sneakers. Am I right or wrong?
No, ma'am, it's a lot more than that. I think that the gentleman that got up here said that, but this is a lot more than that.
But the lady that does the senior sneakers is the one that's being considered for this position.
Well, she wants the position, but we'll have to put it online, and we'll have to see who applies for the position. We can't just give it to her.
Exactly. And the reason I asked to speak, in light of what Ms. Bickard was saying, if this person that is interested and has already been working here and someone came forward representing her, if she is not interlocking with the other seniors, it sounds to me like we've got exercise people here, the other seniors here. If you can't mesh those groups, then...
No, I think the senior citizens, what I'm hearing is she's teaching that's all she's supposed to do, I guess, is just that exercise part.
We're trying to add things to it.
She'll be the person that brings these together, whoever it is.
If she does not get this position, is she going to be gone?
Yeah, she's gone. She's already stepped down from senior sneakers,
Okay.
or silver sneakers, not senior sneakers.
That's it. Yeah, Mr. Cagle and I were kind of chatting just a second ago that, it seems like the Y was pulling their funding, or at least that's part of what was discussed at that last meeting, and so a lot of the folks who were here, Mac Penley among them, were advocating the hire of this person who's currently doing it.
They want this person. This person has a lot of experience, but I'm not going to stand here and tell you this person's definitely going to be the one that's going to get the job.
Sure.
I would just like to be able to put it out. What we would like to do is we would like to have an opportunity to build something for the seniors in the area. If you remember back when Eastgate closed, you sent me an email, and in the email it says this might be an opportunity for us to reach forward and reach out to those seniors. This is something I'd like to see us be able to do. Blood pressure checks, your hearing checks, all this stuff that seniors do at places all over the United States. I don't know why we haven't been successful in the past with seniors here, but this is the first opportunity I've had to try to do something with the seniors. And we put them some new computers in, we put them a new television screen up there, and I'll do anything in the world to help them out. And we have the lunches, the last lunch we had more people than I've ever seen there.
They're all from East Ridge.
Well, I don't know, Councilman Manning, it's kind of hard for us to say everything we do in East Ridge is only for the people in East Ridge.
I'm talking about senior citizens.
Well, I don't know. Look, do you want it to be where that we can't have somebody come in from Georgia or from Brainerd or?
I think we ought to consider our people first, in East Ridge.
I guess it's kind of hard to make the distinction, kind of like, I guess if you're signing up soccer teams down at Camp Jordan, are you gonna,
Well, I know we're gonna have different people come in, but I meant,
Well, sure. That should
Well, I
be our
definitely
first
want,
concern.
this is in good faith. There's nothing in this that's not in good faith.
I'm not saying that in good faith, but what I'm saying is,
drivers come from Austin or Fraser, you know, come and enjoy the company of other people.
Well, I'm not
That's
saying
what
not
we know.
I'm understanding, we need to consider the people in streets first.
You are, I mean, you're trying to make a program for the senior citizens of East Street.
I think
Get it out.
I think she had another question, Mayor.
Sorry.
I think she got another question you raised right now.
Who, me? I was just gonna say that the Y furnishes somebody now for exercise.
Correct, that's what I
And they
was,
will keep on doing it, but the people over there only want this one person to do it. They'll tell you that, they told me that they want this one person he's talking about. They don't want just anyone, they want her. And also, they do come from other parts, there's a lot of East Ridge people do not have to pay for it. The Silver Sneakers come from different insurance companies, and I don't have it, so I don't know, but I do know that they can come from any, a bunch of people, places have, exercise groups for people.
Yeah, Mr. Sewell made a motion to approve the creation of this position. I'm basically in favor. I'll go ahead and second for, at least for the sake of further discussion.
Now, did I hear her right? She said July has pulled, we're gonna keep somebody over here?
Right.
Yes.
Because she said, why, I just gonna keep somebody else.
yes, why, yes.
The way I understood that letter.
No, there was, no,
Was that July had pulled funding for this over here,
no,
and he was wanting us to start funding.
no, that wasn't it.
Am I right or wrong?
That's not it.
That's what I thought 2 weeks ago. Or last meeting, I thought that was.
Did you understand it that way?
It is, I'm not sure how the information, whether it's based on just what the folks said who were here.
That was, yes.
speaking, or whether it was in the form letter.
I mean, she's correct, they have a person that they want to be able to do it with. I just think we need to offer something for the seniors. I mean, that's all we offer is a 1-hour exercise class 2 or 3 times a week. I think we need to offer the seniors more than that. And I think if we would do it and publicize it, we'd have seniors show up here and do things.
And I've got no problem with that, I think we're gonna do more with it too, I'm not saying not do more with it.
I think we can get more than $120 a week out of with our seniors. I think it'd be more beneficial to us. And I think we can get them involved in other things. That's all I'm trying to do. But I do understand, but no, I'm sorry if somebody thought, I think it was probably because Mr. Penland got up and read the deal, and I'll assure you I had nothing to do with that.
Well, do we have any other comments or questions? We have a-
That's what Mr. Penland said. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. We didn't say that. And what he's talking about, they cut her money back. That's what he's saying.
Okay,
Thank you.
so one last question I have. If we hired this person or created this position and you hired whoever it is, would the position funded by the Y, would that go away or would that continue?
Yes, that go away.
Okay.
Yes, that would go away. And we would do our own.
And then we'd have to, buy food, on the news, or,
I think we're okay on that. And that equipment that's over there, it goes back to the same rule that we had when we took over the soccer and all that. I mean, it's equipment that was bought for here.
I'm sorry, I had to step out, for a minute, so I've missed part of this conversation. But did I understand you to say, Mr. Mayor, that if we vote to cover this expense, if the city covers the expense, that the Y will discontinue their service?
That's correct.
correct,
And the city will be paying for it?
right?
Yes, sir. We're not just doing that service. I understand what you're saying for that. If all we were doing was hiring somebody to teach a 1-hour Silver Sneaker class, which would only be but only be $30 a week. If that's all we're doing with this, we don't need to do that. That'd be 3 hours a week is what the Y is doing right now.
Didn't you say that why some people can't do the class because they're not on insurance?
Yeah, but I can't give you numbers, but yes, if you don't have the proper insurance, you can't.
Why?
Because only certain insurances are accepted by the senior, silver sneakers, that is correct, am I right? Only certain insurances you can do that with, is that right?
I have no idea.
I'm sure it's that way, I've talked to some people about it.
Can you not pay for the class?
Yeah, that's, yeah, I mean, the insurance just covers the cost of the class. If these individuals want to pay for it themselves, they can certainly participate in it.
It's through the Y, and only the Y will drop each bridge.
The YMCA ran a Silver Sneakers program in Lakeland, Tennessee, where the YMCA was our partner. They tend to only cover, Silver Sneakers tends to only accept mainstream private insurance as opposed to Medicare and the like. So when you have individuals that don't have one of those insurance coverages, you do for PR or as cooperation and
Okay, so
they tend to let you come for free.
If the city drops,
My experience.
if the city votes to cover this position, the YMCA, they drop us, they move out of East Ridge Community Center, then is what about those people whose insurance, who the program?
It's gonna be free to them anyway, it's gonna be free to everybody, so they don't have to worry about their insurance.
We can actually participate in Silver Sneakers, from what I understand. We can sign up, we can get registered and accept payments. There's a little machine we can get, we can actually swipe insurance cards at the door, from what I understand. The YMCA doesn't have to administer the program. The city can actually, the Parks and Recreation departments can become involved and administer the program.
They're doing more than just aerobics or whatever. He's got other dances and stuff that the Y doesn't do, blood pressure checks, you know.
Okay, is this person qualified to check?
Oh, there's more than we have somebody.
or whatever.
Well, I mean, no, she doesn't, you don't do that, you bring in, just like we have our health fair out there at Camp Jordan, you bring in those people, you have somebody speak, you have somebody in there to check, it don't cost anything to do that. There's people who come in and will do that. You do that anyway, don't we?
We have blood pressure checks now,
Yeah.
once a month.
I would like for this person to essentially, if this position is created, I would like for this person to, and for the city, to administer the program. Potentially a way of getting back some of the money that would be spent on this position.
That's fine, I just want to give the seniors a service, and that's, and we talked about it before, and that was all.
Ideally, it might be self-sufficient at some point in time. Provided by the individuals.
I agree.
That would be ideal to shoot for that. All right, do we have anything else? Any comments or questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got one more. Sure. If we vote to approve this, and this program doesn't fly, and would the YMCA be willing to come back into East Ridge?
Once they go out there, we come back.
Councilman Gravitt, the YMCA was partnered with us on a program that we did away with. We were paying $20,000 a year for an after-school program over here that people was not necessarily from East Ridge, it was staying. We were running, Y was running the babysitting service, so to speak. And we put a stop to that because I pulled the $20,000 out of it. After we pulled the $20,000 out of it, we finally ended up having to get one of our police officers to contact them and tell them because they wouldn't come back and get their bus. Now, we've done business with the Y and it didn't work out.
Okay.
So, I mean,
That's a question.
it was a $20,000, I think you probably remember, it's a $20,000 a year program that we were paying, and then we also went in and paid money for the sprinkler systems because we had to spend money for that, be able to have the program. So there was a lot of money spent on the program.
So bottom line is, you don't want to do business with YMCA.
I don't think I can say it that way because, I like a lot of the folks at the YMCA. I just think we can do more as East Ridge for our seniors. The only thing they're providing is a Silver Sneakers program. That's it, 3 hours a week. And they were going to pay the person $30 a week to do that. I just think that there's more things we can do here than that for our seniors.
All right, well, this lady you're talking about doing it now, you said they wanted her to do it. And you said you had to put it in, I think you said out bid or something, or something.
Well, we're going to have to do that. If y'all decide to do that, it'll take us a while to hire
If
someone.
you don't get the job, and you said walk over, she don't get it, maybe I misunderstood you, that she's gonna quit.
No, she left the wife.
No, I ain't talking about, I'm talking about over here.
Well, that lady won't be there if we take over the whole program.
I thought that's one was going hard. Silver Sneaker.
Well, we don't know who we're going to hire yet.
That's one who apparently is interested in the position.
But she's not over our teaching now. The one that they recommend.
Right. There was one who was there,
That's what I.
And left. and a lot of the people who are participating in the program want her, and apparently she has some interest in it, but there's obviously no guarantee that she's going to get anything.
The money got out, and she went. I accept that, so that's what happened.
All right, any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
I wasn't here for some of the conversation. I'm still not 100% sure that I understand it all, so I'm going to pass.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Well, I think we need to do more with senior citizens, 100% for it. But I cannot vote for it because we got YMCA is coming over here doing it, so my answer would be no right now.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
All right, item G, discussion of International League of Cities Conference in Washington.
Can we table this?
Sure.
It's 10 after 10. This is one of the longest meetings I believe we've ever had since I've been on the council. So.
Had, some very lengthy discussions.
Did you put that for motion or?
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to
We
table.
can do that. We can do that. We have a motion and a second to table. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Item H, permission to obtain bids for fencing at Camp Jordan. And
Make a motion to table.
we have a motion and a second to table. Roll call, please.
Can I ask a question before we do it?
Certainly.
Okay, text we got this morning, 2 o'clock, stating Bugapalooza's going, are they gonna pull out if we don't get the fence up
Well,
by
Bugapalooza doesn't come in until
April?
April or something.
Well, we've got a lot of events that we do down there that's a necessity for us. If nothing else, also the fact that with the playground down there, we need a fence down there as far as that goes too.
So
Timeline, between now and then.
a fence is necessary, but yet it was taken out. Sorry. don't
The fence that was taken, and you and I have had this conversation, but the fence that was taken down needed to be taken down. And we sold the metal for it, we got money out of that, and we were trying to wait until the time was that we knew, that we needed. You know, J-Fest was voted the best event of the year, even bigger than Riverbend this year. Bugapalooza, between those two events, we bring in $6,500 a year, not counting if anybody buys a Coca-Cola or a popcorn or a hot dog.
Stop right there then. How much does J-Fest pay?
Around $2,500.
$2,500.
Yes, sir.
For how many days?
Well, the actual event's one day.
Who provides police security?
We do.
The city of East Ridge?
Yes, sir.
At our expense?
We do that for every event we have down
At
there.
our expense?
Yes, sir.
Who provides sanitation?
We do.
The city of East Ridge, at our expense.
Yes, sir.
I don't see that $2,500 is going very far.
Well, and if we need to go up on what we're charging people, then I just need a direction on doing that, but if we're getting $2,500 from somebody and they're coming in and then we're making more money off of them than that, and those two events will both bring over 10,000 people to the park.
Why do they need, why do you have to have a fence?
Why didn't you fence? Well, because they have to charge to get in as far as that goes.
But don't they, well, doesn't JFS get the whole park basically? When they rent?
No, they only have that area right there, and one parking lot over there between there and soccer, yes, sir.
Why doesn't JFS provide security and sanitation? Why do we have to provide that additional expense?
Mr. Gilkey's here, would you like us to ask him?
Sure.
Well, up there.
How many people attend JFS?
10,000 people is what our numbers are approaching to.
How much per person?
This past year, we went up to $15 instead of $10.
That's a substantial amount of money. So I'll pose the question to you. Why is it that the city of East Ridge has to pay for the security and sanitation?
Councilman, the reason, well, I can just go back to the very beginning. J-Fest is going into its 17th year this year, as Mr. Martin referred. We haven't voted the best of the best, so I want just to let you know what kind of ground the festival is on. It is the best event in the city of Chattanooga, as by the time Street Press Fest is best. It was designed before I came on board as a promotions director for J103. I was just on the air personality. When they originally set up J-Fest, the city of East Ridge said, yes, we would like to honor this event. We want to help you promote this event. And so they provided the police and the fire rescue there in an event of emergency that were there. We do pay a East Ridge City Police officer to overnight security for those 2 nights that were there, the night before and then the night after, because we come in on Sunday and tear down. We have some generators still there before they can come pick those up. So we do pay for overnight police security for someone to watch that. During the day, it's always been presented and provided by the city of East Ridge. It's just, thank you for being a part. We are a business here in East Ridge. We're a nonprofit ministry here in town and been here since we started. And so that's just been provided. I don't know if that's the answer to the question you're wanting, why we don't pay police services. We have an incredible partnership with our police department and the fire department here. We are so thankful for them, for what they do. We also have one of the local ambulance services that donates their medical support. They do it as kind of a promotion. As a part of J-Fest as well, there's also all the vendors, the booth setups, the sponsors and things. And the fire and police are always provided a place to have. The fire department brings fire trucks down, allows the kids to climb on the trucks, and they give them the hats and things. And we even had the Chattanooga SWAT team come down. It's open to the East Ridge Police Department SWAT team if they'd like to. But just to demonstrate kind of like an exhibition affair that they do anywhere, just kind of show the community support and educate the kids.
How many people did you say that came this time, last time?
We're bumping right at the 10,000. I'd love to be able to say we were at 15, but we're not. We're
$15 a head.
It varies. We have group discounts. We also have last year we started, or 2 years ago we started a Fanatic Pack. It's kind of an upgrade because they get a t-shirt and all that kind of stuff, and so there's a little bit more cost associated with that. We also scholarship a whole lot. Again, we're an evangelistic organization, and we want as many people to come because we look at it as just a big all-day church service, worship service in the park. So we do scholarship. We don't turn away anybody that can't afford to pay. And kids 10 and under are free, so it's only.
Well, I understand that it's a good thing and et cetera, and that's what's always been provided and et cetera. But at the same time, and I don't mind if the city breaks even. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the city breaking even. But on the other hand, I don't want to see that it's costing the city.
Sure.
And by us providing the security with the police officers, which I'm sure that they're going to incur some overtime there with the sanitation, and if they do like they always do, that they're there all day running around on the trucks emptying the garbage cans. I just Melvin. I just anticipate that the city.
We do that. My crew takes care of the sanitation. They just.
Well, irregardless of whose crew it is.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Councilman, I will tell you this, as far as the police officer involvement, we love them, and they're there, the presence, and they come, they camp out. we have an army of volunteer security people. When you're talking about the event security, all of our gates are manned by volunteer security people. We have one of our advisory board members who's actually the spokesperson for the Chattanooga Police Department, and he serves as a volunteer as our kind of head of security there, and so he makes sure all the posts are covered. JR, is JR still here?
No,
I understand that he's not feeling well too, but I know that they do provide for us a law enforcement officer carrying a weapon at our J-Fest, at our J-Bucks booth, where all the money's changed hands, right there, just for liability insurance purposes. We do have a uniformed security officer there. Everywhere else, and it's the same thing with Chief Mike and the fire department, we don't require that. When we say we're coming, we have to have this, but it's always been a partnership, and we always love having them there. Now, if there
as
was
long as the partnership is equal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like Mr. Martin was saying, 10,000 people are coming. Many of those are staying overnight in hotels. Our latest numbers from last year show we had 8 different states that people are coming from.
Mr. Martin, can you track on which hotels those people are staying at?
That's one of those things that you and I decided, we talked earlier, and it's something we want to try to do. And I'm still meeting with Tim Morgan, and I'm trying to work out a system so we can prove what I know we're doing around here. And that's, Bugapalooza the same way. There's people comes from all over the United States to that event. And we're seeing more hotels being built in the city of East Ridge. And I think that's because of the people that's being brought in, because of the I-75 exit 1 improvement. I just think it's all a vicious circle.
It seems to me there's a couple of things that need to be addressed, and I had mentioned earlier, I would love to see the remainder of that money go to this fence.
Yes.
I mean, it's found money, that's essentially for us. It was not budgeted. It apparently would cover the cost of the fence.
Yes, it would, and it's got to be bid out. I mean, and it's, Mr. Pope got on me one day because I threw a number out, so I won't throw a number out. But I do know that we can pay for what we need to pay for and get a 5-foot-high black fence, which not only will be good for the park, but it also will make it so much more attractive. And then also the guy, if he gets the bid, is also give us a 3-foot-high rail fence, just like the ones up at OLPH, to put around where we're doing our flagpole and where we're doing Joe's Garden and all that, and he'll give us one of those with 2 gates to do that too, if he gets the bid. So I know for a fact we can do it in this money, both what we owe now plus that, and that would be fine with me.
And I also think there's a little bit of a disconnect between, I guess, council and staff, and it's not, it's nothing on council, it's nothing on staff. It's just, I think we all need to get together and have essentially a series of planning sessions. Where's our Parks and Rec department going? What do we need for the immediate future?
Which direction do you want me to go in? You want me to take a step back?
Because I think you need to know that, and I think we need to know.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, where are we all going? We can't all be pulling in 6 different directions.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, I also want to say several years ago, there was a need with the old fence, the one gate that went out towards the parking lot, towards the soccer complex over there. It was a single gate. And with that many people coming, because we do have our inflatables with our kids all over that way, where the playground is now on that way out. And so we, at J103, it didn't cost us any money. Again, we're a nonprofit. We're good at finding trade. We found one of our sponsors that was a fence company. And they went out and they donated that fence, double-wide fence that was out there, and helped make the improvements there. We were a major partner and sponsor of the Knights of Lights. And so we also benefited from that as a nonprofit, but we also, I don't know how many thousands of dollars we put into that to help promote that. So we love East Ridge. That's why we're here. And we always want to support East Ridge and everything that we do. I speak as the morning show host and as the promotions director. Anything that I can do to promote the city of East Ridge, we appreciate your all support.
Well, I just want you to understand though, I'm certainly not against, J-Fest or against Bugapalooza, either one, but, I just want to be sure that it's an equal partnership. We're dealing with taxpayer dollars and I realize that Camp Jordan is a tremendous asset to the community with a lot of intangible
assure you, we're not losing money on any events down at Camp Jordan Park.
You know, I think, I like something I like to look at budget time is maybe looking at, maybe we're selling our park too cheap, maybe we need to work on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
We've got expenses and.
Exactly.
I think that needs to be
I-
part of the,
I don't have a
part
problem
of the
with
planning process.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think, you know, there's a lot of times that we just give it away. Maybe
Well,
we-
I mean, if it's
we
been
need to-
$2,500 for 17 years, you know.
Well, then with the Bugapalooza, you know, we've been giving that to them, and then yesterday I worked the deal out. I mean, last year the council voted to give it to them, and then I worked the deal out yesterday where they were giving us $2,000, plus now they have what they call Swapalooza that they have in the fall. We pick up another $2,000 from that.
And how much did you say we charge Bugapalooza?
We don't charge them.
We wouldn't charge them anything.
Okay, well, see, that right there is a prime example.
We voted
It's
on
not fair to J-Fest
There's a
and J103 for us charging them and giving it to Bugapalooza. We need to get consistent.
But that's what's been going on the whole time is with Bugapalooza. It's something I inherited when I got here.
We've done a lot of that, you know, somebody comes in, nonprofits, just give it to them, and, you know, we've got the cost and expense.
Yes.
And, you know, stuff that I learned today about, you know, Bugapalooza gives a good cost, $29,000 they made off of it. They give it to Ronald McDonald.
And that's doubled in the past 3 years of how much money, how big that event has
I'm not
got.
trying to take any money away from it, but, you know,
At the same time,
you know,
we've got to
we
look
got
at it.
expenses, we got to answer the taxpayers.
Tell you an interesting story about,
Go ahead, Mayor.
I won't do it now, but.
No, go ahead.
I'll tell you an interesting story about Ronald McDonald House, how they, I spoke with one of their staff members about Bugapalooza, and was very surprised at her attitude. It was interesting, so I'll just leave it at that.
I'd like to
that's
add-
after meeting.
That is.
I'd like to add one thing about the fence. And I'm glad the fence is there because a lot of the kids, smaller kids, run around there and if you ain't got a fence there, they run out from the car and get killed. It's gonna be on our hands. I don't see no kid get hurt. I've never seen the citizens walk out there in the road, they can't see good and just walk right on and get run over. And I think we need a fence there.
Make a motion to approve obtaining bids for defense of Kenford.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. But
I'd like to
actually,
do that one, right?
Coming out of this.
Yeah,
We can phrase it as-
We'll cover.
You'll have to cover that
We'll cover
later.
that later.
Yeah. You're just giving us permission to take bids.
okay, we have a motion and a second to do that. Actually, you know what? We had a motion and a second to table earlier. We have to have those withdrawn.
That's right, I will withdraw my motion table.
I'll draw from the motion, so, legal second.
Okay. Now, clean slate.
Make a motion to approve obtaining bids for fencing Kenford.
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes.
Folks, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, folks, it's almost 10:30. I make a motion to table I and J, permission to obtain bids for GPS and obtain bids for time clocks.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes.